Hey, this is Khaliq, and I'm back with another tip about somebody always asks me, how can I record my vocals perfectly, Khaliq? And I've got a couple things that I think will help you along. Let's get going right away. Okay, the first thing that you could do is that I really suggest that you definitely research and know the type of vocalist that you're about to record. Is it going to be a male vocal? Is it going to be a female vocal? What is their range? Do they have a high voice, high pitched voice? Is it a low baritone, somewhere in the middle? Do they have weird tones, like do they have like thin piercing type of voice? Or is there a lot of resonance in their voice? Do they project, or are they real soft spoken and singing? And what's the tone of their voice? Is their tone very clear and bright, almost on to the edge of being irritating? There's some people that you can just listen to them in the room before they're even mic'd, and they can sound irritating as far as the tone of their voice and piercing. So you want to make sure that you do something that kind of dilutes that. Then there's other people that might sound a little maybe they don't project, and they need a little help with the way that their sound comes out, because they have it kind of closed off or in. So a good microphone and a good recording chain can even help that as well, although it's mainly in performance. But then the other thing you want to do is, once you know what kind of vocalist you're going to be recording, match the microphone to that vocal, to whoever the vocalist is and whatever type they are. So, for example, if you've got a baritone with a deep, rich, resonating voice, then you want to get a mic that's going to capture that but not enhance it too much. You don't need something that adds a bunch of low end, because they already have that tone in there. It's going to make it sound too big and muddy. You might need something that brings out the upper mids and the high end, the air and stuff like that, to balance the sound from top to bottom. And conversely, if you've got somebody with a thin, piercing kind of voice, real high or whatever, and bright sounding, then you might want to get a mic that's a little darker naturally, and maybe a mic that adds a little low end resonance and has a little bump in it to fill out their voice. All this is experimental, of course, and it's an educated guess unless you have them there and you can experiment with them. That's why it's always good to kind of know ahead of time and have a couple of options ready, so that you're not caught off guard. One size does not fit all. And the biggest mistake I see a lot of people is they get one microphone and just leave it up for every instance. And that works okay if you're just doing your own thing and you know who you're working with all the time, it's the same person, or if it's you yourself. But it becomes a problem if you're doing stuff for other people and you're having a lot of different types of folks come in. You need to have more than one microphone. Okay, and then the next thing is to match and customize the recording chain of that microphone. What kind of mic preamp is the microphone going to get into? Is it a super clean one, or is it one that has a little bit of character built into it? It has a little tone and coloration along with the microphone itself. The combinations and everything can make for a very great thing. So combinations that we all know are some of the classic mics, that are out there being plugged into a Neve microphone preamp for a little bit of coloration, or some other brands and everything. So you know what your chain is going to be, and also coming out of that into something else, like what kind of compressor or EQ or whatever, are those going to add color and coloration to it? Do you need two preamps, compressors, etc., in that chain to warm things up, smooth things over, or whatever? You match all that up to, depending on the type of vocalist that you have coming in as well. Then do a test recording. A test recording, and I say do it with prejudice, okay? What I mean by that? Well, I mean, try to break it when you're doing it, because when you get in the session, you're going to, make sure you hit it. I'll do all my tests, don't go on there like testing, check, 1, 2, 3, okay, the mic's working and everything. I'll yell at that sucker, testing, check, check, and them little spikes that you're hearing right now, I'm trying to break it to see if I get any distortion coming in, if the mic capsule is going to distort. I'll do as loud as I can. I'm going to see if the recording chain I'm going through is going to, not catch what I need. I'll do a recording of my own voice, because I know my own voice best, and then play it back and see if it's catching it as just a guideline, because the tone is not what I'm listening for. I'm just listening for that. Okay, if I put this on and anything happens, okay, I've got it covered. At least I know it's not going to distort or whatever, because the chain is clear. I've tested it. Okay, then the final thing I would say do before you get going, make sure, and this one is huge. This is probably one of the biggest things that can affect of getting a perfect, great vocal performance. Get a great headphone mix. Take as much time as you need to don't just throw something together. And ideally, if you can send a separate headphone mix to the vocalist rather than just sending them the stereo bus and hearing the same thing that you hear. If you can do a customized perfect mix for them to blend in the kind of instruments that you know they'll need. You know they're going to need the keyboards for a pitch and tone like that. They're going to need less reverb and things like that so that they don't start swimming, but you might want to hear more in the room. Might want them to have a clearer sound in their head compared to what you're getting. You're going to need the drums to keep them on the beat, but certain things within the drums may need to be more important. Sometimes they might need the hi-hat or something that's doing the note rather than the backbeat or the kick drum, which may or may not keep them on time. You have to know what the song is and what the goal is. But anyway, if you do those basic things, you should get a stellar vocal and vocal performance every time that'll make the vocalist feel proud and comfortable, and the session will run smoothly if you do all these things in front. I'm Khaliq Glover, and this is mixingacademy.com. Go there and sign up and get your free silver membership. For a limited time, I'm giving away free silver memberships. You'll find this tip and a lot of other things in there where you can get started on the fast path about learning how to do mixing better. This is Khaliq Glover, also known as Khaliq-O-Vision. I'll catch you on the next one.